So, my next guest is here. Will you hold the microphone like this? Come and stand on there, and that's the camera. Well, they'll see you. Introduce yourselves to Arctic Talks, please.
Yes, well, I am Frida Omma. I'm from Tromsø, and I'm a master student. I study nature-based tourism and nature conservation. I'm here. I got invited as a young ambassador, and my passion is Arctic identity and sustainability. So my project right now is about how to have a sustainable bird tourism in Finnmark. And I have a multidisciplinary approach, social and nature science. And I'm very happy to be here.
Well, thank you, and thank you for being here. So what we're saying is that you see a growth in a number of new industries in the Arctic, and your interest is with the travel industry, hospitality industry, how to bring people to the Arctic in a sustainable way. Do you find that it's a complex challenge, or is it very much something that can be resolved within tourism itself?
That's a good question. I am more educated in nature-based tourism, so the small adventure firms. I don't know much about hospitality and traveling, but it's definitely a paradox which must be solved. And I think one solution is to make our adventure companies greener and attract those groups, those tourists that we want, that respect social culture and nature, and that they also want to pay for exclusive products, and that we must take more train into account and make more bike trips, for example.
Well, that's great, and I think it's going to be important to have people like you developing sustainable Arctic tourism. But looking at today's Arctic frontier, you've got all these big names, policymakers, ministers, ambassadors, and you've followed the first half of Arctic frontiers. Do you find that what people are talking about is truly relevant for you and people that are in your generation?
Yes, I think it's very important. I'm a Sami myself, so it's very important the discussion about indigenous knowledge and including stakeholders. So I think this must be respected, and the Norwegian state must work more with that, especially when it comes to education in the Arctic. I think young people, we should also get an opportunity to choose more traditional work, like young people getting fish quotas for their own boat and getting the opportunity to work with reindeer. Right now, that's very difficult.
It is, isn't it, the traditional way of making a living. My final question to you, and thank you again for sharing your thoughts with Arctic Talks. It's if you were able to make a wish that the government had to meet, what would it be?
Wow, that's difficult. I'm an environmentalist as well. So I wish we get... Is it possible to say, to be honest, I wish for a new government, a red-green government, because right now it is not taken into account the environment and nature conservation at all, as well as our social needs in the north. We get down prioritized, and there is a big... they're getting our two regions together, Finnmark and Troms, and Finnmark is totally disagreeing, and this is a colonialization thought, and it's so unreal that it's still happening today.
Well, that was very good comment. And yes, you're allowed to say this is freedom of expression, so you can say exactly what you want. And I think your comments demonstrated that in the Arctic, it's global, it's national, but it's certainly also regional policies that will decide.